What's up, guys? TCMuze. Let's get into some new retro soul. All right, today we're getting into some new retro soul. It's inspired by this artist that I found. Her name is Shae Universe. She has this song called Ebbs Flows. I was kind of inspired by it, so decided to just put something out in a similar vein because you know how we like that new retro soul. All right, first we're going to start with the drums. Now the drums are going to be a bit of a mix between acoustic, organic sounding elements, and then the kick will be an electronic processed kick. That way we get that something old mixed with the something new. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put all the acoustic elements in, and then I'll record the kick. Let's just go ahead and get these percussive elements in, and then we'll get back to it. Now for the acoustic drums, I'm using Abbey Road's 70s drummer. Before we get into that, let me remind you, we're quantizing 16th notes, 75% strength and sensitivity, and we're at 75 BPMs. We're going to be in the key of C major, but we'll get back to that. Now let's get these hi-hats in. Boom, that sounds dope. As you can see, let's flip back. Got a lot of different velocities there to give it some human type of feel, even though we're still quantizing. Gonna do a quick little 2 bars, so we'll get this rim in. Cool, we got that where we want it. We're just gonna cheat a little bit. We're just gonna double that, so we'll have it all taken care of. Next thing I want to do is put in a quick little tom fill at the end, the last bar. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Not gonna be too hard. Just gonna go ahead and program it in. Now we're ready to get that kick in. Let me show you what I'm using for my kick. I'm using this roller kit. This is from the Elastic Bump pack from Native Instruments. And what I did here was I saturated it. I went ahead and turned up the transient, pulled down the sustain, pulled up the attack, rolled off some of the highs here, definitely saturated it, plus 28, minus 1 there. Let me go back, see if I did anything. Yeah, and I pitched it down 4 semitones here just to get a thuddier, kind of just more modern type of kick sound. All right, let's go ahead and program this in. Hey man, if you made it this far, do me a favor. Like and subscribe. Appreciate you. Next up, we want to put in some percussions. For that, we're using Native Instruments Session Percussionist. We're using the Sundowner preset, and I usually use like the loops that are there. This time, I just want to use the individual elements, come up with my own pattern. It's going to be a lot simpler than what we have in here, but that's what I'm looking for here. All right, let's get it in. Last element we're going to put in is this little rattle sound effect. I'm going to put it on the 1s and 3s just to give some bit of kind of like human feel to it, because you can see that I'm not starting particularly on the downbeat of this sample, so it's going to give just a little motion and make things sound a little like human just because the timing is slightly off. We're going to put it on the ones and the threes, not the twos and the fours, because usually that's where you would put it to accentuate the backbeat. We're going to be a little different this time and put it on the downbeats. All right, now that we got the percussive elements in, let's go ahead, double that up, and get in the harmonic instruments. We're going to start first with the Rhodes. Let me show you which Rhodes I'm using. We're using the Play It Again T Rhodes from my XXV beta pack, which is completely free. There's a link down below. You can just click it, go get it, add it to the cart. It's yours, complimentary of WeCreateSoul.com. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. We're in the key of C, but everything's going to be revolving around D minor. So it's kind of more like a D Dorian instead of a C minor. But for the number system, we'll just say, excuse me, a C major. But for the number system, we'll just say C major because it's going to be all the white keys. Nice and easy today. Also, be reminded, you'll see the chords on the screen. However, I'll explain them in further detail after I demo the complete track. Stay here for now. Let's lock in. All right, I think that was nice. Next thing we're gonna do is put in some live instrumentation. You know, that new retro soul kind of has a little bit of old, a little bit of the new, electronic, and the organic. So let me go ahead and set up. We'll play in some bass, play in some guitar, and then we'll get back to it. All right, we got the bass going. We're gonna keep it nice and easy. We're just gonna hold down the fundamentals of each chord. Let me show you what I'm working with here. I'm using IK Multimedia's Amplitude. I'm using the basic SVX 500 preset. Just keeping it nice and mellow. Let's go ahead, program it in, play it in. We're not programming, play it in, and let's go from there. Nice, nice, nice. That's exactly what we wanted. Now let's go ahead, move from bass, get to guitar. All right, let's get this guitar in. Using my Yamaha RevStar Standard. This is like my favorite guitar in my arsenal. To process it, we're using Guitar Rig. We're using this Dub Star preset. All right, man, we got that in nice and easy, but it accomplishes exactly what we want. Just helps to accentuate the vibe. Let's move on. Let's add a few more instruments. I think we're almost at the point where we're done, but I think we got maybe 2 or 3 more elements to add in, and then we'll be good to go. Let me put this guitar away, pack up the lead, pack up the cable, and then we'll be good to go. All right, give me a second. When I'm doing this, this is kind of how I like to be actually in the studio. It's a little weird, but I like to go ahead and pack things up. Like as soon as I'm done, kind of keeps things nice and slightly organized-ish. And then we can move on. But, you know, takes a few seconds. Boom, then we're good to go. Put it back where it belongs. We ready to rock out. What we dealing with next, I think we just want to accentuate just a little bit more of the upper mid range. So I'm going to put in a synth. Not going to do too much with the synth, just going to pulse just a little bit. You know, I like to get my pulse to push and pull. So let's go ahead and show you what I'm working with to get that done. The synth that I'm using is Massive X. We're using this XYZ files. It's a pad. Let's go ahead, program it in, and, you know, keep the vibes flowing. Cool, we got that in, no problem. We're gonna cheat a little bit. We only put in 4 bars, but we're just gonna take it, repeat it. Boom, now we have 8. I wanna put in just a little transition between like a verse and a chorus section. And for that, I'm using Analog Labs. I'm using this Down Rise, and it's from the Wavelength Cinema pack from Arturia. And we're just gonna put that in on like the last bar of our current loop. That way it kind of just sweeps us into the next one when we repeat and start making it into a sequence. So for that, we're just gonna move over, put 2 bars in, count in, just hit 1 button. And this is kind of just like we're starting to arrange already. See, just something real easy, just kind of swells into the next section. All right, I think what we want to do now is, I think we got everything we need or want. I'm going to actually double this entire 8 bars. I'm going to mute the guitar part, and I'm going to mute the synth part. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a section just to put a little piano on top. For the piano, again, I'm going to my beta pack. I'm using the Keep It Clean preset. The beta pack is available for free. Link down below. Just click it, add it to the cart, check out, no problems. Appreciate your support. And if you're looking into getting even more sounds and getting the full pack, XXV Sovereign Soul is also at the WeCreateSoul website. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Get this piano part in. Also, since I want this part to be a verse, I think I'm gonna mute out the percussions, the rattle, and I'm gonna slow the hi-hats down a little bit. You know what? I wanna give it a, you know, a vibe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start just a little bit early, and I'm gonna turn the quantize off, just so it has a little bit to maybe even start early as I'm rolling into this verse section. Cool. We got that part in with no problems. I think we're going to try to make just a quick little baby sequence here. Just start with a quick little intro. I think we have what we need already with this little separation. The only thing I might do is just take the last section and just take this bass hit, this last bass hit out of the last section. So I'll just do a quick little cut right here. You see that? Boom. And then I'll mute that part just to give it a little bit of, you know, dramatic pause. And while we're at it, I'm going to get rid of, not get rid of, but I'm going to mute that last chord hit that I have there also. So, oh, I want to mute that. What I'm trying to do is let that tum roll just stand on its own for a second, be its own transitional element as I've muted the transition here, just to get some variations between how we kind of loop back around into each section. So with no further to let's go ahead and play this out. But first, want to let you know I appreciate you. Thanks for rocking out with me. And of course, stay up. Gonna let you guys hear the demo, but be reminded, I'm going to break down the chords immediately after the demo. All right? So stay tuned for that. Let's get it. TCM. You made it to the lesson after the session. Appreciate you guys stopping by. If you made it this far, drop a keyboard emoji down in the comments. All right, let's get into breaking down these chords. Like I said, we're in C major, but it's going to sound more like a D Lydian because that's the chord that we're going to be coming back to and we're going to be treating as our home base. Let's not worry about it. Hopefully I said D Dorian and not D Lydian, but it's D Dorian, just to double down on that and make sure. But let's go ahead, break down these chords. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna throw them up on the screen. So the chords that we're using are gonna be a D minor 9, and then we're gonna use an A minor 9. Then we're going back to another D minor 9. Then we're using an F major 7. And then finally, we're using an A dominant 13 sus 4 chord. All right, now that we got all those up, let's go ahead and break them down. So we're only using our left hand for the bass note. Everything else is going to be in the right hand. You'll see LH for left hand on the screen. You'll see RH for right hand on the screen. Thought I'd go ahead and let you guys know. I've been doing it and I haven't been telling you what it represents, but that's what it represents. All right, let's go ahead and start. We're starting with that D minor 9. So for the D minor 9, we're down here and we're going to start with the D in the bass, F, A, C, E in the right hand. It sounds like this. Then we're going to an A minor 9. It's going to be an A in the bass, a G, a G, B, C, and an E in the right hand. Then we're going back to that D minor 9. Then we're going to play an F major 9, but it's going to be an F in the bass, E, G, A, and then C. Then we're going to play that A dominant 13 sus4 chord. And the easy way to kind of remember this is that we're playing an A in the left hand, and then we're playing a G major in the right hand. So that's in its root position, G, B, D, F sharp. And those are the chords. We're not doing a lot. We're just playing those 4 chords, putting a little rhythm behind it. Don't forget, it's R&B, so the rhythm comes first. Let's go ahead and play this around. All right, there we go. Appreciate you guys hanging out for the lesson after the session. If you want to see more videos like this, click over here. Over here, man. Go ahead. Do your thing. Click it. Y'all stay up.